lot of help. There's a lot of resources out there that if they wanted to seek help, or you know I don't I don't know right off the top of my head, what those resources are, but I know the military, we have a lot of resources, and you can reach out to your sharp advocate or SARC, unit SARC and whatnot. And those are, the people that deals with that kind of situation. And domestic violence is almost a zero tolerance policy in the military. So I know the
Yeah.
military offers help, and I'm pretty sure every single state, if you do need help and whatnot, there's like resources out there. I'm pretty sure back home too. I'm pretty sure there's a department for domestic violence and whatnot. So for me, as
Definitely.
like a husband, I got two kids. I'm married too. Like I've never hit my wife either. I've never, did even domestic violence is so foreign to me. I didn't see it in my family
Yeah.
growing up, and so like I don't act that way, I don't behave that way, but it's like I would say, if you do need help, and if it's something you're seeking help for, just reach out to somebody, or if just let me know, and I can look up resources to help you guys out. But as far as domestic violence back home, man, it's kind of so back home, it's kind of harder because there's not much resources, and I
Yeah.
feel like some women are like they just don't have that help. They don't have that support system. They don't know of the resources that they could reach out to. And not only women, believe it or not, I have a close friend who's married before, who got beat up by the wife all the time, and they ended up separating and whatnot. But you know, um, as far as I'm concerned, I believe there are resources back home. And man, the easiest thing you could do is reach out to a family member. If you're in that situation of, domestic violence and whatnot, I would say remove yourself from the situation, remove yourself, altogether, until you guys can sort things out where it doesn't have to come to, domestic violence all the time. And just reaching out to a family member. I know a lot of people back home go church, reach out to your Faifeao and whatnot. And I've seen like some meetings between family where the Faifeao intervenes on behalf of like one family, talking to another family, or behalf of the spouse talking, the wife or the husband talking to, one another. And I've seen like, pastors, like I was saying, intervene, and I've seen those families, get better. I've seen those
Right.
families work it out, and I think it's all miscommunication. And a lot of thing is like another thing is it all comes down to pride. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
somebody's gotta give. Something's gotta give. So, when me and my wife would get into an argument, if I don't see like any point of me winning, or if I don't see a way out of it, then I just give up. I just admit I'm wrong, apologize, move on, and then when I come down, she comes down too and meets me at that level. But if
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
when that pride kicks in, oh, like, oh no, I'm not wrong, I'm never wrong, and you go
Mm-hmm.
higher, and guess what? They're just gonna come higher and meet you there. You go higher, it
Oh
just
yeah.
goes higher,
Yeah.
and that pride just kicks in, and it just keeps going, and then all of a sudden you guys arguing, and then you can't control yourself, and all next thing you know, fists are flying. You think you
Yeah.
David Tua or
Right.
something, and then you're gonna end up
Right.
sleeping in jail. But it's like,
True.
is it
True.
worth it? Is it worth it? No, it's not worth it, because those things can stay on your record. It can be on your record where it makes it harder for you to find a job and whatnot. But it's like, for me
Right.
and my wife, it's like we both go to church and whatnot. My wife's mom is a pastor. So it's like, for us, working things out, it's kind of like we're almost at a mutual agreement. And that agreement is God, God first in our family, And with that, kind of like mutual agreement, me and her can see eye to eye.
Right.
Uh, and that for me just makes our relationship, our marriage so much smoother. And like I said, we don't have we don't run into domestic violence issues and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I think, like I said, it's just, man, if you escalate the situation, it's only gonna get worse. If you gotta choose your battles. If you Sometimes if I know I'm 100% right, I'm not gonna give up, because I know I'm 100% right. But sometimes you just gotta give, because like I said, if that pride kicks in, you just gotta escalate. It's gonna spiral out of control. Just you remove yourself from the situation, and if it's somebody that just talk to them if they need help. You can be that help for them. You can be that resource, for them that seeks help for them, and it
Right.
doesn't have to be
Definitely.
them specifically. You can step in and you can be that advocate for that person, that life support or support system for that person. So yeah, definitely. If you know somebody going through, domestic violence and whatnot, reach out to them. Reach out for reach out to them, and if they need help, if they need assistance, if they need support, you be that support. You be that good friend. You be that good sister. You be that good brother. You be that good family member, that cares. And for domestic violence, I don't have much experience, growing up and or like at all with domestic violence. But best thing to do is remove yourself from the situation if it escalates. That's my advice as far as the question
Right.
goes.
Hell
Corruption,
yeah.
domestic violence are both caused by drugs. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I
It could
will.
be all tied
Um.
together.
Yeah, we'll do a couple more questions for the podcast. Um. Milma Slick asked, "How did you fall in love with Warzone, and how long have you been in the service?"
The two parter.
I Okay, so I've been in the service ever since 2013. So I used to swim. I used to swim competitively. So when I
Oh, nice.
uh, gave up, not give up. Well, it kind of give up, but like I decided to, change of career,
Hmm.
and so
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I still love swimming and whatnot, and I still do it leisurely, not as much, but it's different when you're competing and when you're just swimming for leisure. But anyway, I've been in since 2013. I had a break in service, so altogether, I think I've been in 8 years. 8 years
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
And then, what was the other part of the question? Oh, Warzone.
Yeah.
Okay, so growing up, um, we owned it's called a family computer back then. I don't know if you guys ever had it, but
Yeah.
I don't even I was too young to remember how we got the system. I don't know if it was one of my dad's friend who got the system or we bought the system back home from somebody. It was called a family computer and it had a cartridge, almost like a Sega Genesis where you put it on top. It had two blue buttons, one reset and one power. And the eject button was like a flat piece like this, smack that middle. And all it was two prongs. If you push it, it just pushes the cartridge up and it ejects the cartridge. And you like blow on it, smack it,
Yeah.
put it back in. So growing up, um, we had that family computer, that video game system. It was called if I remember correctly, I was kind of a little kid back then, but it was called a family computer. And in that game, the cartridge, it was 100 games. It was
Oh,
like
damn.
100 games in one cartridge. It was crazy. It was like mind blowing for me because usually it's one game per cartridge, but this one had 100 game. It had like
Yeah.
Ninja Gaiden. It had Mario, but
Yeah.
I think my all time favorite uh on that was Contra.
Oh, I love
And
that one.
Right.
somehow, some way, we need a up, down, left, right, A, B, A, select, start, and you get
Yeah.
99 lives, right? You get
Right.
99 lives. So like So I used to play Contra hardcore. I love Contra, and with 99 lives, I could play forever. So funny story, right? So I was playing Contra. I stayed up the whole day. It was a weekend, so we could play. My dad would let us play video games on the weekend. Weekday, no video games at all, and you could watch a little bit of TV before you go sleep, but you had to finish your homework first. So growing up, back in American Samoa, um, I grew up on a farm. So I'm talking about eggplant, squash, pumpkin,
Mm,
watermelon, spring beans, bok choy, watercress, all this
man.
stuff, tomatoes, all this stuff. So we 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 had land that was rented out to us from my mom's family on the side, and we just farmed the whole land.
Damn.
And man, it was like acres. You could literally run around and like not even get from one end to the other end of like the whole land. And so the weekend we were allowed to play video games. So I played Contra. My brother went to sleep, and my older brother, I have two brothers. So there's six of us, three boys, three girls. So my two brothers we're like big gamers. Lalea is my brother. I don't know if you guys know of Lalea, but he's my older brother. So we played Contra a lot. So my brother woke up. We played Contra all the way to like almost almost midnight. And then past midnight, my other brother woke up and we played Contra. And I played Contra all the way to the next day until the fuse of the TV popped. And then I went to
Man.
sleep because I know I was gonna get salsa for blowing for blowing the fuse to the TV. But but I think it all started from back then, man. My love of like video games, just started from back then because I was like fascinated by the games back then. Zelda, man, Metroid. I can't tell you guys, excuse me. I can't tell you guys like all the games, but it's like Zelda, Metroid, Mario Kart, King of Beasts, man, there's so many games, but like Contra was one of my all-time favorites, and like I always like shooting games and RPG. And then when I moved to Hawaii back in 2006, they just came out with the PlayStation 3. And that was the first time they offered to play online, the services to play online, right?
Oh
Where
yeah,
you
Yeah.
yeah,
could
yeah.
like,
That's right.
yeah, where you can like create a profile.
Oh, did he cut out?
Where you could create
Oh, oh,
no, oh, sorry, I took a
Oh,
sip of water, my throat was drying up. Where you could create a profile and play online, whether it be for leisure or competitive. So I bought a PS3, and then soon after, Modern Warfare 2 came out, and that was for me my first like time playing online competitively. And then man, we used to go hard. I'm talking about I could play 2.5, 3 days straight, no sleep. I
dang.
could
Man.
I could jam without sleep, like nothing. And it was normal, man. You're young, man. You got all this energy and you're fired up, and online gaming is new and it was competitive. It was super competitive. So I used to play a lot of ground war because there was a lot of us, and back then it was 9v9, right?
Hmm.
Since there was
Yeah.
a lot of us, we played ground war so we can get a whole bunch of us in one lobby, and you just keep jamming. And we will always compete who get to the next prestige level first,
Oh yeah.
and being
right.
that being that I'm pretty competitive, man, I would lose sleep just to get there first, and when the
Mhm.
guys would wake up, it's like, damn, he's already there, or like my buddies would get there first, and it's like a competition. And then man, we were like killing it too. And back then our clan tag was duty, and we had a
Uh,
whole bunch of people in there in the community, and so and a majority of them I still play cod with them. Up until this day I still play cod with them. It's crazy, but that's how long it's been. And then
Yeah.
man, we used to compete for nukes. who could drop the quickest nuke. Because you
Mhm.
drop a nuke back then, game over. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?